Hi, look at me. Do I look like a tarot influencer now? I've got crystals, I've got cards. Down a Doreen Virtue Avenue. Oh man, so many stories to tell, actually. She's had a big impact on my life, even though I've actively loathed her for the most part. So that's interesting. She used to be everywhere, every metaphysical store. And 2021 has been a year where I have me and a friend, we do tarot readings for each other a lot. And I'm going to explain it like that, where I've gotten the Six of Cups in almost every tarot reading that anyone has ever done for me. It's been a year of going back within to my inner child and kind of peeling off the layers that were forced on me, taking off the clothes that were forced on me by life and society, and really coming back to who I really am and what I really like and what I really want. And I've built up this tough exterior when deep down inside, I have always been the kid that played with fairies and the kid that saw little miracles happen every day, and the kid that believed in magic. And that kid is coming back, and I am loving it. With a good dose of reality mixed in between. So I'm going to take all these stupid ass crystals away because who reads tarot like that? And we're going to take a look at this little deck. This was one of Doreen's first decks. The Dutch edition, guys. This is the English edition. And, you know, it's your typical Hay House glossy cards, glossy box affair. The Dutch edition, however, has that new Hay House stock, kind of, where it's that gorgeous satin matte thickness that feels really good. I just wanted this for nostalgia value, and I got it for a good price, and it's in really good condition. So it says messages from your angels, but what this actually is this is Doreen Virtue's personal angels all over this deck. This deck is a hot mess. It has 20,000 different artists. They are all credited though, which is really, really neat because that doesn't always happen. And yeah, I just want to delve in and look at the cards. The guidance is really, really good. This is back when the guidebook was just stapled. And you know, and where it was short and sweet. Here, look. We get the artwork ordering information, and this is so cool. So yeah, she even encourages you to contact the artists to buy prints, stuff like that. So it's pretty sweet. The guidebook, yeah. Do we really wanna? Yeah, we do kind of want to look at it because the guidebook is cool in a sense that there's a lot of heart in it, and there's a lot of spreads in it. This deck is 44 cards. I would never advise someone to pull more than 5 cards out of a 44 card oracle deck, maybe even 4. My rule of thumb is using about 10% of the deck, because otherwise you keep getting the same cards over and over again, and it becomes a game of there's too little cards in here rather than a game of chance. The backs are really, really interesting and non-reversible, because who needs reversals? This deck isn't gilded. I think when she started, the decks weren't gilded, then the gilding kind of happened, and then the gilding kind of stopped. So these are not in order. I have looked at these. I have played with these a little bit. So is it a first look? Not really, but we're going to go through them together. This is, to me, the pinnacle of what graphic design looked like what big publishing graphic design looked like in 2002. Things have changed so much. I'm gonna zoom us in and then we're gonna get into it. All right, so like I said, this deck is not necessarily messages from your angels. This is messages from Doreen's guardian angels, or whatever. She doesn't really mention that in the guidebook. She never really says, I'm gonna check it really quickly. She never really says, these are my personal angels, but they are. I found that out through some research online. So what you get is the angel name, an illustration by an artist, and then a sort of weird zoomed in on certain fragments of that illustration, and a little quote. And then you have an additional message in the guidebook. But the writing, honestly, is pretty sweet. It's really comforting. I get now why people were so enamored with this. So this is Xana, Rosetta. Then we have Daniel. Like, I love that. She just used these, you know, made up angels. There's another angel author that's pretty prevalent right now that does this a lot as well, without ever mentioning where the information came from, without ever mentioning how they came to these names. I do, however, thoroughly believe that Doreen Virtue actually worked with guardian angels that had these names. This is a card that kind of irks me because it's the guardian angel of marriage and he's assisting me right now. I never want to get married. I have no intentions to ever be married. It's all very heteronormative, very late 90s, early 2000s, where the patriarchy still stood firmly on the ground. But it's interesting. It's also interesting that one of the marriage cards is depicted by a masculine angel, but hey, we have Isabella. Isabella looks kind of like a slut, and I'm here for it. Yes, the timing is right for this new venture. A happy outcome follows your positive expectations, and if that happy outcome involves being dicked down by 12 guys, I'm all here for it, Isabella, so please guide me. And you guys must think he's really sarcastic, but I genuinely love this deck. I love the tackiness of it. I love the accessibility of it. I love the messages. Timeout. Like, you don't even need to read the full message. Timeout, it says enough. So Grace and Antoinette. To help heal the situation, see the other person's point of view with compassion. I love that. And there's a lot of real people names in here, so it's pretty cool if coincidentally you'd happen to pull a card for someone whose name is actually Antoinette. Indriel, this is the box cover card, really cool. Akasha, the spiritual teacher. And like I said, most of the artwork is actually really pretty. It's just that combined or in a spread, it can look kind of jarring with the graphic design choices that were made, the big ass border, the font choice, as well as the zoomed in parts that are sometimes very pixely because they weren't meant to be zoomed in that far. It can get a little bit jarring sometimes, but individually, each of these art pieces are really special and really gorgeous. Serena, Layla, Merlina. Now that's interesting. I've never heard of Merlina, but you are confused and indecisive because you do not have enough information. Do research or seek expert advice before making a decision. I do like that. And you'd think that the guidebook would give you information on why this angel is called Merlina and a little bit of a backstory, because that I would have found interesting. but she doesn't really do that. So that's kind of a missed opportunity for me. Maybe there's a more extensive book. I know that there is a bigger book that kind of goes with this deck. Maybe that's in there, where she talks about these angels. That'll make the deck come to life a little bit more. I love this illustration. I adore it. This is so old school. It is safe for you to be powerful. You know how to be powerful in a loving way that benefits others as well as yourself. One of my favorite cards in the full deck. Celeste, this is more of a photograph / photorealistic painting of things. So we get a big mishmash of things. Astara, gorgeous card. Ariel, really pretty image. Seraphina. Archangel Gabriel. Not Gabriel, Gabrielle. That's interesting. Opal. Oceana. Interesting. Another one of my favorites, Mystique. Yes, keep charging ahead and don't take no for an answer. Expect miraculous solutions to appear. This is one of my favorite cards as well. I love it. I love it. Archangel Raphael. I'm helping you heal. Yes, so this is an actual angel that we all know. Patience. Crystal. Ray. Crystal Ray. You can make really like cool, tacky names for kids. Crystal Ray Fiona. That's the name of my new unborn daughter now. Fiona. Francesca. Omega. Yes, victory. Your desire is coming to fruition. Keep up the good work. I love this. Isaiah. Love this as well. Like, I genuinely love this artwork. There's some really good artwork in this deck. Rochelle. Love it. Desiree, love this as well. Like, there's really good quality artwork. I just wish back then Hay House would have had the precognition to be a little bit more consistent in their decks. Like, just choose an artist. But I guess you can release decks faster if you use different artists, because you can all give them assignments at the same time and they'll be done at the same time. So actually, business-wise, this is the most smart thing you can ever do. So I kind of get it now. This is the favorite card. This is the reason why I wanted this deck. So I was shuffling through the Dutch version at the metaphysical store and I saw this card and I yelped because Chantal looks like an 80s looking porn star and it's everything. And of course this is the romance card. Chantal is really sexy. She kind of looks like a prostitute. I've been calling women sluts and prostitutes in this video. I'm not a misogynist. I'm just a lover of sluts. I'm a slut too. So yeah, I love this card. Look at it. It's so tacky. Yvonne. I know a lot of Yvonne, so look at that cat. That's zoomed in too far, so the image gets all blurry. Look at that fucking cat. And look at how they like mirrored Yvonne's image here. They could have pasted that here and then mirrored the cat, but someone made a conscious decision to cut out her face, put this blurry edge around it, and then mirror it. I love that. I wish I would have been in the room for those decisions, honestly. Bethany. Vanessa. Vanessa looks kind of powerful, like a powerful it's cool. Aurora. I really like this artist. I'm gonna see who did those looking cards because they do look really do look really lovely. Uriel. Caressa. Hey, I'm Caressa, and I'm Caressa Chantal, and I'm your angel of romance and life cycles. Shanti, do love this art. Adriana, lovely art as well. Like, most of the art is really good. It's just that together it looks so jarring. Sonia, oh man, like another graphic design, another late 90s, early 2000s graphic design gem here. So we get sort of this cutout of the image, but it's kind of opaque. It's kind of less opaque. They took the opacity down a little bit, and then the image of the wing kind of protrudes behind the text. And then because there's nothing in this card except Sonia and the clouds, they took a bit of cloud and made it less opaque and more blurry and more zoomed in and pasted it here. It's everything. Archangel Michael. Damn, that's a gay as fuck Archangel Michael. I love it. With the parted hair in the middle. Adorable. And Maya, the angel of schooling and study, which I pulled for a 50-year-old man yesterday. And I was like, who's not into schooling and college at all and study. But he is kind of into devising his own course. So, you know, what gives? Oh, another gem, another graphic design gem. So we have a mirrored image of Maya herself. And then to me, if I look at this card, the most interesting focal point apart from Maya or Maya would be this diamond right here. But instead of that, they chose to superimpose this supernova that's very tiny here in the back on this side of the card and enlarge it so it gets blurry again. So once again, would have loved to be in the room. Now, I sound really sarcastic, but I do really like this deck. I really love it. I love the messages. It's very broad. It's a very broad range of messages. I love seeing that once upon a time, Hay House used to have staple books. I love the box. I love the vintageness of it all. It's so epic. So that was messages from your angels. Don't pay hundreds of dollars for this deck. Be patient. Look on secondhand websites. Go to raggedy secondhand bookstores, especially in the United States. Don't just look for everything online. Just go to bookstores. They will have old Doreen decks in stock for really cheap. Also in the UK, go to your secondhand bookstores. Sometimes there will even be new and sealed copies from bankruptcies of metaphysical stores that will get like bought up by these secondhand bookstores, and you can get them for like dirt cheap. Don't pay hundreds of dollars for a deck that once cost, how much was it? That once cost $19 US, because that's not worth it. I didn't pay that much for this one. I do love it. Yeah, thank you for watching. Thank you for watching and having a laugh with me. I do recognize that I sounded a bit more sarcastic than I probably should have. Wait, hold up, before we leave. Another graphic design gem. This is also typically Hay House. They don't do it as much now as they used to, but look, the border over here is like way thicker than the border over here. And then with this card, the borders are even again. And then this one has even borders as well, but this one is printed way off center. And I wonder if this is just with this version of the deck. So if there are other people that have the messages from your angels deck, check if the Maya card is printed off center on the back. I love it. Love y'all. I'm actually going to be working with this deck because I really love the contents of it, not necessarily the tacky style, but it's a really fun deck and it's an inspiration. So thank you.